So today we are going to go through an introduction to Fulfilled by Amazon. So I'm the senior onboarding specialist called Sean. So basically I manage most of the seller from their registration all the way until the shipment reaches the fulfillment center. So feel free to ask any questions you have along the way. Yeah. So we do have a live webinar every single week. So you guys can go on to the Seller University Seller Education live webinar website to see what are the contents, the topics that we're going through. So for those who prefer self-learning, right, feel free to head over to Amazon Seller University. And from there you can actually search for the content that you want to learn. Yeah. Okay, so introduction to FBA. So it's called Fulfillment by Amazon, but in acronym we call it Fulfill FBA. So FBA is a cross-border fulfillment. So what is cross-border fulfillment? Actually, fulfillment is an internal logistics. It refers to the process of transportation from goods from one country to another by air, land, or sea. Lah. In this region, most of us will do it by air and sea, unless you have a warehouse or manufacturer in US, then you can go through by land. So once the product is shipped for you, right, you will go through several steps before it's delivered. So in today's presentation, we'll go through more details about it. Okay, so the main difference between so the common cross-border fulfillment methods, right, will be like sales fulfilled by Amazon. So for example, you yourself as a seller, right, all you have to do is pack and then you ship. So you only focus on the first mile where you ship over to our fulfillment center, and then Amazon will manage the last mile delivery to your customers. So in comparison, the domestic self fulfillment MFN or FBM is where a buyer buy and then you work with a third party carrier to ship it over to your customer. So what is fulfillment by Amazon? It means that a seller can send a product in bulk to any of our fulfillment center abroad, and Amazon will take all responsibility of storing and delivering your package, right, for you all the way to your customers, right, in that country that you are selling in. So Amazon will pick, pack, and actually ship for you, right, and also handles all the returns and customer service, right, for you when you use this FBA. So below are the countries that FBA work have in like US, Canada, Singapore, Japan, Europe, so and so forth, and UAE also. So this is just a simple graph on what is FBA. So seller domestic shipping, warehouse service, export declarations, rail sea transport, export clearance, local shipping. So for example, right, the seller only has to work with a logistic partner, right, to get your product to a fulfillment center. Then from there, right, Amazon will handle the rest once it reaches to the fulfillment center. So what are the four benefits and advantage is faster shipping to your customer. So Amazon has when you use FBA, right, Amazon must deliver your products, right, to your customer within 2 business days. So it's 24/7 customer service in their own local language. So for example, if someone's purchasing from Mexico, if someone's purchasing from like Japan, right, uh, Amazon will do the translation for you, so and so forth lah. And it also help increase product discovery and the chance of getting your product into shopping cart. So for most Amazon customers, right, they actually uses this thing called Prime. So when you use FBA, right, you automatically have a Prime badge. So actually this increases your search ranking above as compared to those who don't have it. And that's eligible for shipping discount that reduces the logistic cost. Okay, so what are the fulfillment charges? The two mainly are storage fees. So this is calculated by cubic foot per month, is prorated, and the fulfillment charge will equal to FBA charge. So let's just say if you want optional paid FBA service such as product labeling, packaging, order removal, and so on and so forth, right? These are all extra charges, and it really depends on the product. So each marketplace has a different size and weight limit for fulfillment fee, and the unit price of this also changes accordingly lah. So actually, if you want more information, please those people who have an account, please search in the Seller Central and search for FBA fee. I see that you guys have many questions. Don't worry. Later I'll go into in details. Yes, so for meltable inventory, right, from October 16 to 14 only, meltable interim stock or arrival at our fulfillment centers from April 15 to October is marked unfulfillable and disposed for a fee. So what does meltable means? It refers to all heat sensitive products, including but not limited to chocolate. Okay, like you guys get the point. Just that only October 16 to April 14, which is kind of like the off-peak period where we accept meltable. During where the peak seasons, right, we do not accept it. When to use FBA? I would say that sorry, when to use FBA revenue calculator for people who have are unsure of how their margins, right? You can use this free calculator tool, revenue calculator tool, to put in ASIN. So go and find a competitor ASIN, put their ASIN inside, and then the referral fee, fulfillment cost, storage cost, everything, right, will be auto populated for you. From here, right, you can easily use it to calculate your margins of using FBA, and there's also a portion where it's like your fulfillment, so you can do the comparison from there. So this is an example of a sports water bottle. So in this case, the product is being sold in UK for 11.99 pounds. So Amazon fee is 86. Fulfillment cost is 2.85 pounds, and storage cost is about 6 pence in this sense. So Amazon fee is a percentage, so usually it's about 15% of the cost price. Yeah. So this varies across category to category. Yes, so if you want a detailed guide on how to set up your FBA, right? So you can use your go to Seller University, type fulfilled by Amazon, then follow the FBA basics. From there, we'll guide you how to choose what inventory to send, pack user units, confirm shipping, print the box label, and then work with the carrier. Yep. So for more information regarding FBA, right, please scan the QR code. So this QR code will give you more details on about what's FBA, the North American Fulfillment Solutions, UK solutions, so and so forth lah. Hmm. Okay, so what is Amazon Send? So Amazon Send, right, is how the supply chain works in Amazon. So with supply chain by Amazon, right, we pick up your inventory from your manufacturing facilities, we ship it cross border, and after that it's just basically FBA lah. So for Send, right, we basically do the logistic for you. You don't have to work with your own carrier. We do everything for you. So what is Amazon cross-border shipping partner program? So it's called SEND. So it's called Seller Export and Delivery. It's a program where sellers can send their goods from China to a fulfillment center in other countries using a partner carrier, providing the seller a one-stop FBA first mile inbounding service. So the SEND is available in US, UK, Japan, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. Yeah. So basically just means that it's just a one button when you click send, right, then Amazon will do everything for you, ensuring that it clears custom, ensuring that it reaches the fulfillment center, and so on and so forth lah. Yeah. So this is just a simple diagram about what it is. So seller create a send shipment, the seller prepare the shipment with the partner carrier to receive it, then export declaration, cross-border transit, then custom clearance, and ship to warehouse. So what are the benefits is that service is provided by a partner carrier selected by Amazon, which has a 95% fulfillment rate. So there will be like a 5 to 20% discounts, which is negotiated by Amazon compared to other service provider. So there's also efficient operations, trackable and transparent. So basically in your seller central, right, you can track the whole journey of your package or inventory from when it got picked up from your warehouse all the way it reaches the fulfillment center. And then there's a priority and fixed cost warehousing. This is just a simple integrated and non-integrated, like send versus non-integrated carrier. So it's tedious and time consuming to actually go and do a cost comparison, track it on a daily to ensure it clears customs and so forth. So if any hiccups along the way, you also need to be the one that manage it. Yep. So this is the cost. So discounted price. So basically, it's picking up from China, right? Hence you see it's in renminbi. So discounted price for 100 kg is about 27 CNY for about per kg. Yeah. To be frank, so the shipment process is relatively the same. So when you go to your shipment, you click send to Amazon. You can choose to click send on non-partner carrier. So if you choose send, right, you just go with the SAM program, then the price of everything will be stated there. If you choose non-partner carrier, just means that you are going to work with your logistic partner yourself. Yeah. So the most important thing here is the box label. So in Amazon, they will actually scan the QR code, right, to make sure that this particular shipment is coming, and then they actually reserve it for you. So this box label is important. So this is the how it looks like in the dashboard, the one click. So basically in the seller central, you can check all of it. Yeah. Then you can review your payments. Everything will be given to your under your payments transaction view of your account. Yeah. So for more details, feel free to actually scan this QR code to find it.
Hi everyone. So thank you for Sean for inviting Mentor Media to share about logistics and what we can do for you all seller. So next slide. Okay. Can you all see the next slide? Okay. The the agenda for today's session will be first we will introduce who we are, which is and then followed by a 4 to 5 minutes video to explain what we can provide in terms of services at the country of origin and as well as services at the country of destination. After which, then we will switch back to the presentation slide, and then we will show you what are the next step, which is the timeline in terms of consolidated shipment outbound as well as the rate card, then followed by a Q&A. Okay, can now we will just show you the video.
Hi guys, I think there's no sound from the video, but uh, I don't think we have to go through it again. I think we can just verbally go through the presentation later.
Let the video run, and then after which we will just go through the we have already shown you the video, and then after which we will go straight to the item 3. What are the next steps? But before I go straight, then I will introduce ourselves, our team. I'm Cecilia, and with me I have Daniel and Jimmy, who is under the sales and marketing for global sales and marketing. Next. So I will touch very briefly on who is Mentor Media so that you have an overview of who we are and our presence as well as our capability as well. So next. Okay, Mentor Media is under the Elanders Group. So our headquarter is in Gothenburg, Sweden. So we have more than 100 global locations. And then last year we hit 1.54 billion USD in annual sale. And then we have more than 3,000 customers in 22 countries. So as you can see, we have two core businesses, one of which is under the print and packaging, and then followed by the supply chain solution. So next slide. These are the overall global footprint of Elanders as well as Mentor Media. So as Mentor Media, the global HQ is in Singapore. So we have very strong presence in Asia as well. And then as well as global global presence in US, Mexico, Brazil, and Europe. Excuse me. Slide. Okay, for the industry segment that we are focusing on, as you can see over here, there are six of them. One of which is the electronic and high tech, followed by the fashion, lifestyle, and retail, followed by automotive, industrial, healthcare, and life science, and as well as e-commerce, which is mainly the cross-border. So I believe all the sellers here are in either one of the sector. Yeah. Next. Next slide. Okay. We are global supply chain management. So when you can see from the video itself, the services at the country of origin as well as services at the destination in terms of warehousing, transport, forwarding, which are referring to the air and sea freight, as well as the specialized VAS, which is the value added services. These are within the warehouse activity. So all these we are able to help sellers to fulfill their requirements. Yeah. I will not go in deep, but just let the sellers to understand that we can provide warehouse, transport, forwarding, as well as value-added services in the country of origin as well as the destination. Yeah, next slide. Okay, these are the value-added services which I mentioned in the earlier slide. So these are some of the value-added services that we can do for seller in terms of country origin as well as the destination destination area. So other than the value-added services, right? If seller require sourcing and procurement, we can also do so as well. So next slide. Okay, next, I will touch base on the service of at country origin as well as service at country at destination. So these are the footprint of our warehouses in Singapore, Malaysia, Shanghai, China, and California. And then, as you can see over here, we have in terms of warehouse, right? We can provide in the aircon or non-aircon temperature. And then we have all the necessary security in place in the warehouse itself. In terms of certifications, we have the standard, which is the ISO 9014, 14,000, as well as the 27,000. So in terms of the proximity to the airport, to the seaport, we are rather near to the airport and the seaport. So in terms of operating hour, we operate from Monday to Friday. But in the event seller require weekends, we can also operate as well. Next slide. Okay, next, I will touch base on the country of origin just to recap what you have seen in the video earlier. So as I mentioned in the earlier slide, the services that we can done at the country origin, we can also help you to manage the suppliers, which is either your supplier or your manufacturer in the origin country. Take for example, China. So in terms of coordination, we can also do so. In terms of logistic arrangement to pick up from the manufacturer all the way to port, and from port all the way to US, we can also do so as well. In terms of product QC services, we can also do so for you at country of origin. And then after which we can help you to coordinate in terms of the custom documentation as well as the freight. Yeah, next. Okay, so leveraging on the supplier management service as origin, right? We can provide what I mentioned earlier, supplier coordination, inventory collections, logistic coordination, merge in transit, and then consolidation and QC on your product itself. Next. And in terms of A and C, we can also provide you the quotation as well, and also manage, like I mentioned earlier, which is the end-to-end services. Next. So next will be the country of destination. Same thing as what we can do in the country of origin, we can also do it in the country of destination as well, in terms of custom clearance, warehouse, and then distribution from our warehouse to any of the Amazon fulfillment center. Then we can also help you to manage the return management as well. So next. Okay, so these are the location for our US warehouse, which is located in Bernardino. And then, as mentioned earlier in the footprint of the US side, we have shown that our proximity uh, from the warehouse to the airport and the seaport as well. And within the facility itself, we have 24/7 security and CCTV, and then we are able to manage the inventory for you, and then as well as the overall space to cater your stock. Next. Okay, so what unique point for our US warehouse is that we are in the FTZ zone. So meaning to say FTZ zone, there is benefit within by using our FTZ warehouse. Meaning to say there is no US duty paid until entry into US market. Then in terms of the cash flow, we can also help you with that because there is no upfront of the duty paid first. And then we have the WMS systems to integrate to in the event to your system or even integrate to Amazon site. Yeah. Next. Okay, these are some of the case study that we have done for our cross-border e-commerce customer. Yeah. In terms of the value-added services, like we can do product sourcing for them, QC, consolidated international freight services. Next. Okay, these are just an overview of how we did for cross-border e-commerce customer. So from the origin, we can do consolidation, we can do value-added services, and even do pre-pack for them. And then after which you will arrange the freight services to the destination, for example, in US or even in Europe. That's where we can do the warehouse value-added services, clearance, custom clearance, last mile transportation to the Amazon fulfillment center. Yeah. This is just an overview of the process flow, how we help one of our e-commerce customer. Okay, these are just the e-commerce process flow with Amazon. Is that our US warehouse have very uh, has a experience in managing the Amazon client. So be it whether is it FBA or FBN, so we are very well versed in the Amazon and very integrated in the Amazon network itself, and be aware of what Amazon requirement as well in terms of the labeling. Yeah. Next. So these are some of the itemized product description and the label that we need to paste it on the carton itself. So for Amazon, because there is a specific position and the labeling that is required on the carton itself. So we have the experience in handling that. Yeah. Next. Okay, so this slide is just to show our proximity uh, in US, and then we are able to fulfill to whichever location in Amazon within Amazon fulfillment center within the US site. Next. So next step will be understanding on your requirement, followed by the rate card and the onboarding timeline. So by understanding on your requirement, all you have to do, you can just scan to register. Then after which we will just capture all your information on example, product type, your quantity, how is it need to be handled, then country origin, it will uh, it will take around 10 to 12 minutes to complete. Yeah. Next. You can scan. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this slide will be the consolidated outbound shipment date to US. So in the month of August, there is 2 days followed by the September and followed by the October. So these are the outbound date from the origin to the destination, which is the US side. Okay, next. Okay, so these are just the high level rate cut in terms of the sea freight from origin to US as well as the transit time. So the validity of these rates will be 2 weeks, and then these rates, as you can see over here, exclude the local handling, tax and duty, custom clearance, and haulage, etc. Next. So these are also the air freight rate as well. So same thing, validity is 2 weeks, and then there is exclude of the local handling, tax and duty, custom clearance, and haulage. Next. Okay, so we provide you some example of estimated like charges for 2 pallet, for example, on consolidated in Shanghai, China to US. In terms of at the origin meaning to say at the warehouse storage, we pick your inventory from factory and then to our warehouse. In terms, let's say there's a requirement for us to consolidate and then pre-pack, then after which there is a handling, then haulage meaning transportation from the factory all the way to the port itself. And then custom related meaning to related charges. And then there will be a sea freight rate, and then after that there will be a destination services. So this is just an estimation in terms of when you want to ship from China all the way to US. Okay, next. Okay, so this will be my last slide. Then why Mentor Media? Because we do have proven track records, more than 30 years of supply chain experience, and then 10 years in the e-commerce fulfillment. And we have vast experience in FBA and FBN operation. We In terms of network, we are very well established globally, as you can see in our previous slide. And then we do have award-winning solution and international accreditation. In terms of customer service oriented, we have enhanced service performance in terms of KPI measurement and key account. And then we do have global knowledge and local expertise in the integrated operation management. In terms of emergency response, we always have BCP plan for our customer. And then in terms of scalability, we do have scalable storage space as well. And then we do have ZGST and FTZ storage space which you can utilize for. Yeah. Okay, that's the end of my presentation slide. So let me know if you have any question. So if you are not able to drop any question right now, so feel free to get back to us. And you can contact us at the email as you can see below, apexsales@mentormedia.com. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I'll be discussing the shipping basics and help you guys understand the small details that you have to remember when shipping internationally. So one thing to take note is, of course, this document doesn't necessarily reflect Amazon's ideas, so they're not necessarily liable. We're really just their partner, and sharing everything to the best of our knowledge. One thing to take note and one thing to first understand is your shipping options. So when you ship internationally, you basically have two options that you want to think of. The first one is air courier, and the second one is forwarding. So especially for an initial Amazon seller when you are starting out, the main focus would probably be as an air courier. Forwarding is mostly for larger bulk shipments. So if we're thinking of air courier, you have to think of a low volume and a low value shipment. Personal quantities, that's how we determine the volume of an item. So of course, if it's a personal quantity, for example, if you sending a maybe let's say canned fish, maybe 10 to 15 could be possible to be declared as a personal quantity. But if you are sending a cell phone and you send 10 to 15 pieces, of course, because of the item, it'll be considered as commercial. Another determining factor is the low value, or the value of the item. So each country has their own de minimis. So this is a term that's just used internationally. Basically, this is the amount that is not taxable. So let's say here, if you're importing in the Philippines, people try to avoid making sure that their items are below 10,000 pesos, because our de minimis value is 10,000. For the United States, and especially if you're planning on sending to Amazon, their de minimis value is $800. So as long as you are sending less than $800, we don't really necessarily expect any problems in terms of the shipments. For forwarding, eventually, if you have bigger shipments, these are automatically considered as commercial shipments, whether it's sent via sea or via air freight forwarding. No matter what the value is, it's still considered as commercial, and no matter what the volume is. So if you're sending, let's say, 5 pieces of t-shirts via sea, most likely this will still be taxed and considered as a commercial shipment. So ShipIt Express is our service for air courier. In terms of our air courier service, the the protocols for these are more often than not declared as personal shipments. We make sure to check if these items are possible in terms of sending before they're sent out, just to make sure they don't incur any problems while it's in transit. And of course, during this occasion, duties and taxes are paid by the recipient or the consignee. What's necessary to take note of is if you are selling any food or cosmetic products, or if in maybe not necessarily selling, maybe just sending out these products, they need to be locally registered and regulated by the FDA. So if you're sending a homemade food product, or if you just make a cosmetic product that's homemade, most likely this won't be allowed via air, of course, because they're not regulated. So how are express shipments priced? We have this term called chargeable weight. So this is the comparison between the volumetric weight and the actual weight, and the price is based on whichever is higher. So to get the volumetric weight in centimeters, that is the length times width times height, all over 5,000. So there's just a few examples for you to compare. So for this example, for this box with these dimensions, if you get the volumetric weight, so that's 33.7 times 32.2 times 18, and then divide that by 5,000, you'll come up with around 3.8, if I'm not mistaken. And it's automatically rounded up by zero point 0.5, so that's 4 kilograms. If the actual weight on the weighing scale is 20 kilograms, you are charged 20 kilograms. For the second example, it's a larger box with a smaller weight. So the larger box has a volumetric weight of 20.5 kilograms. Actual weight is 5. The charge for this is 20.5 kilograms. Please take note that this is more often than not associated with sending things via air. So if you see promotions, let's say from other courier service providers such as DHL, UPS, FedEx, it could be JRS, and it could be even LBC. They really base their pricing on the chargeable weight. But things that are sent via sea don't may not necessarily follow this. This is really just for an air courier service. So ship it forwarding is based on the name, is our forwarding service. These are things that are sent in bulk via sea, or commercially via sea, and bulk and commercially via air. So what's important to take note is that forwarding shipments, you would need a local export license here in the Philippines, an import license in the destination, and to also make sure that the items that you're sending, whether it be food, cosmetic, or cleaning items, they also need to be compliant in the destination country, because they're considered as commercial. They will need to be sold. They need to be regulated not only here but also in the destination. So for an export license, think of it as your Philippine passport. The import license, think of it as a visa. You need the Philippine passport to exit, and you need the visa to enter a destination country. That's sort of how shipments work in terms of the commercial and in the forwarding um, scenario. So now, if we are sending to Amazon, you'll notice that Amazon shipments could have a tendency to become, let's say, a hybrid of both a forwarding and an air courier and an air courier service. So what happens now is Amazon shipments are considered as commercial shipments because, of course, you are sending to an Amazon warehouse. They are going to be sold and they are going to be distributed all across the United States. It's not We cannot declare it as a personal item because it's going to be sold. What happens here is because Amazon is not necessarily the end user, they are not the owner of the goods, they cannot pay for the duties and taxes. And food, cosmetic, drug, and cleaning items would need to have your local FDA here in the Philippines and the United States FDA, or comply to the United States FDA. Because again, it's a commercial item. It will be sold and distributed. What happens now also is an importer record is needed. Again, because this is a commercial shipment, and similar to how an import license works for forwarding shipments, customs will look for an importer on record. And again, because Amazon is not the final end user and the final owner of the goods, they cannot serve as the importer on record. Which leads us to the question, how can ShipIt help you? So we have three services that you can offer. First one is documentation and compliance assistance. So part of our service is to assist local businesses here, make sure that their items are export ready. And of course, when it gets to the United States, check all of the import requirements or uh, the commercial documents that you need for it to be registered properly in the United States. So we have a partner broker in the US who can assist us with that, and we have connections to the US FDA who can assist us in terms of registering your items. We also have an import license in the United States. So if ever you have any shipments that are charged duties and taxes, or if just in the occasion that customs will ask who is the importer on record, we will serve as the importer on record on paper. So at least you're safe on that front. The last way that we can assist you is, of course, as you grow your brand and as you grow your sales, eventually you'd want to be shipping in bulk, and we can offer the bulk shipping. Of course, because we have, aside from the import license in the United States, we also have an export license here in the Philippines. So we really provide the end-to-end service from here in the Philippines all the way to the delivery of your items in the US. This is something that we, of course, want to introduce to the new Amazon sellers. I don't think maybe this month will be too soon, but then of course we're doing this every month. We have a consolidated shipment program specifically for Amazon sellers. So what happens here is every fourth Thursday of the month we gather, or beforehand it's all gathered, but it's shipped out on the fourth Thursday of the month. Um, these items are all shipped out to Amazon, and of course at a discounted rate. So if you go to our website, shipit.ph, and check your items with our rate calculator, you'll get a basic rate. But comparing it to the rates that we offer for the consolidated shipments, you can save up to around 30% on your shipments. And of course, it's less variable. It's a less variance in terms of your cost. So let's say with this example, at 15 to 19.5 kilograms, it's one flat rate, 10,000 pesos. For 25 to 29.5 kilograms, it's one flat rate at 15,000 pesos. So that at least on your side, whether your shipments go up in terms of weight or go up in terms of volume, we hope that it doesn't necessarily change unless, of course, you're in those sensitive weights at the 24.5 and the 25 kilos. That's the only time it'll change. But to really just create less chances of your costs, changing. Eventually, we're also going to link our website with Amazon. So just a a quick preview, we will be rebranding. So One Export and ShipIt, we are going to be rebranding into Zendees. So what happens here is we are going to be linking our website to the Amazon app. And of course, when you have an order, you can track all of your Amazon. You can link your Amazon account to our website, and then from there, with your, of course, which is linked to your Google account, you can check your shipments. So let's say if you have 5 shipments, it'll all come out, and you can see the status for each, whether they are on transit, whether we are waiting for the package. In one website, you'll be able to see the status in terms of the logistics side. Okay, so thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to ask it, and I'll leave it to Sean to. Yeah, thank you.